हेलो, नमस्कार, प्रणाम। आप सभी का स्वागत है हमारे इस लाइव वीडियो सेशन में। मैं अभिषेक रंजन फ्रॉम फर्स्ट टॉपर अ डिजिटल वे ऑफ इनोवेटिव लर्निंग। ओके माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, आज का जो हमारा लाइव वीडियो सेशन है वो क्लास 10th स्टूडेंट्स के लिए है। इकोनॉमिक्स चैप्टर 2 सेक्टर्स ऑफ इंडियन इकोनॉमी के 3 मार्क्स और 5 मार्क्स क्वेश्चंस को हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे। वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं ये सारे। सैंपल क्वेश्चंस हैं, गेस क्वेश्चंस हैं, वीवीआई क्वेश्चंस है, मॉक क्वेश्चंस है। ये सारे क्वेश्चंस का आपको रिटन प्रैक्टिस करना है जिससे आपका रिवीजन होगा और एग्जाम में एक भी क्वेश्चन आपका इस चैप्टर से नहीं छूटेगा। ओके माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, सो कीप स्माइलिंग, स्टे कनेक्टेड। और आज का जो हमारा वीडियो है ये बहुत ही इंफॉर्मेटिव वीडियो है आपके एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। ओके माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, स्टार्ट करते हैं। इकोनॉमिक्स चैप्टर 2 सेक्टर्स ऑफ द इंडियन इकोनॉमी के 3 मार्क्स और 5 मार्क्स क्वेश्चंस को इससे पहले वाले वीडियो में हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया था। जो रिमेनिंग क्वेश्चंस है उसे आज इस वीडियो में हम लोग कवर करेंगे। स्टार्ट करने से पहले, ड्रीम बिग, ड्रीम बिग बिकॉज वी आर हेयर टू सपोर्ट यू, गाइड यू। ओके माय डियर स्टूडेंट्स, स्टार्ट करते हैं। पहला क्वेश्चन, वाई देयर इज एन अर्जेंट नीड टू प्रोटेक्ट वर्कर्स इन द अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर। अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में वर्कर्स को प्रोटेक्ट करने की जरूरत क्यों है? एक्सप्लेन। आई एम गिविंग द इंपॉर्टेंट रेलिवेंट पॉइंट्स। They are paid low salaries. They are paid low salaries. Their jobs are not secure. They have no retirement and medical benefits. They are often exploited. Next question. What are the differences in the employment conditions between organized and unorganized sectors of the economy? And the correct answer and explanation is service conditions of organized and unorganized sector. Organized sector and unorganized sector. Organized sector is registered by the government, whereas the unorganized sector is largely outside the control of the government. In organized sector, the workers enjoy the security of employment, whereas in unorganized sector, jobs are insecure, low paid, and irregular. In organized sector, the workers enjoy the security of employment, whereas in unorganized sector, jobs are insecure, low paid, and irregular. In organized sector, the number of working hours are fixed, whereas in unorganized sector, the number of working hours are not fixed. In organized sector, workers get several benefits such as paid leaves, payment during holidays, provident fund, etc. Whereas in unorganized sector, such facilities are not available. Okay, my dear students, you have to write any 3 points. Next question. Why do people prefer to work in organized sector? Explain. Advantages of organized sector. People enjoy security of employment, work for fixed hours. If they work more, they get overtime allowances, paid leaves, payment during holidays, medical benefits, safe working environment, and pension after retirement. Next question. How can the workers in the unorganized sector can be protected? Explain. In the unorganized sector, mostly landless agricultural laborers, small and marginal farmers, and artisans are included. These workers can be protected in the following ways. We can protect the workers in the following ways. Farmers need to be supported through the adequate facility for timely delivery of seeds, agricultural inputs, credit storage, and marketing outlets. In the urban areas, casual workers need government support for procuring raw material. Small scale industries also need support for procuring raw materials and marketing of the goods. Next question. Why is agriculture an activity of unorganized sector in India? Explain. In agricultural activities, people are exploited like landless laborers. Their income level is low, there is no job security, agriculture is seasonal in nature, and there is no fixed pay. No other benefits such as pension, medical facilities, paid leave, provident fund, safe environment, etc. are available. Come to the next question. Workers are not exploited in organized sector. Do you agree with the statement? Explain reasons in support of your answer. Now come to the appropriate answer. Explanation. Unorganized sector is a sector which has small and scattered units largely outside the control of the government. Yes, workers are exploited in the unorganized sector and reasons are as follows. There are no rules and regulations followed, jobs are low paid and often not regular. No provision of overtime is there and no paid holidays or leave is given. Employment is not secure, people can be asked to leave without reason. Some kind of work is seasonal in nature and temporary workers are employed, they become unemployed after the season is over. Now, come to the next question. Very important question. Why is agriculture the most labor absorbing sector in India? Why is agriculture the most labor absorbing sector in India? How does disguised unemployment make it worse? Explain with an example. Disguised unemployment and seasonal unemployment. Agriculture is the most labor absorbing sector in India because the secondary and tertiary sectors have still failed to provide more employment opportunities to a majority of Indian people. So the people are forced to engage themselves in agriculture. Disguised unemployment is generally found in the agriculture sector. People engaged in farming are generally more than required, though it seems that they are working in the cultivation of land, but actually they are partially employed. For example, a farmer who has a land of 3 hectares requires only 2 persons for farming related to work, but all the 7 family members are engaged in it. If 5 persons out of them are withdrawn from the job, the total production will not fall. जरूरत है 2 लोगों की, लगाए गए हैं 5 लोग, 3 को हटा भी दिया जाएगा तो प्रोडक्शन पे कोई असर नहीं पड़ेगा. Therefore, 5 persons will come under the category of disguised unemployment. Next question. What is GDP and explain the process to calculate the GDP? Important question. Gross domestic product or GDP is the value of all final goods and services produced within a country during a particular year. The sum of production in the 3 sectors gives us the GDP, gross domestic product, primary plus secondary plus tertiary. And the money values of goods and services should be added rather than adding up the actual numbers. The value of final goods alone should be added as the value of intermediate goods is already included in the value of final goods. This mammoth task of measuring GDP is undertaken by the central government ministry. ये सारे लाइंस एनसीईआरटी बुक में दिए गए हैं, आपको हाईलाइट करना है. की पॉइंट्स है, बुलेट पॉइंट्स है. This organization collects information relating to the total volume of goods and services and their prices and then estimates the GDP. Next question. Agriculture had been the backbone of the Indian economy, but the declining share of agriculture in the GDP is now a matter of serious concern. Explain the meaning of this statement. Agriculture is the backbone of the Indian economy. Yes, it is correct. In India, about 63% people are engaged in agriculture sector in 2001, according to data 2021. Share in GDP was more than 40% in 1973. Raw material for secondary sector is mostly supplied by agriculture, but now the share of agriculture is declining in the GDP year by year. So it is a matter of serious concern for all. Share of agriculture in the GDP has declined from 44% to 24% during 1973 to 2003. The primary sector continues to be the largest employer even in 2000, but the production has not increased by this rate. Next question, important question. How can we create more employment in secondary and tertiary sectors in rural India? We can create more jobs in the secondary sector by promoting industries such as dal mills, by promoting cottage and handicraft industries to employ the villagers, by establishing processing of vegetables and fruits units. Government can invest in cold storages. Services like transportation and communication must be promoted to generate employment. Construction of multi-purpose projects can create more employment. Come to the next question. How can we create more employment opportunities in urban areas? Explain with example. The government can spend some money or banks can provide loans to construct wells, which will reduce the dependency of farmers on rains and they will be able to grow 2 crops a year. Construction of dams and canals can lead to the lot of generation of employment in agricultural sector itself. If government invests money on transportation and storage of crops or makes better rural roads, it can provide productive employment not just to farmers but also to others who are in service like transport or trade. If local bank gives credit loan at reasonable rates to the small and marginal farmers, they will be able to buy necessary inputs for their crops in time. Another way to solve this problem is to identify, promote, and locate industries and services in the semi-rural areas where a large number of people may be employed. Example, many farmers grow arhar and chickpea for them a dal mill to procure and process this and sell in the cities. Opening a cold storage will give an opportunity to the farmers to store their products like potato and onion and sell them at good price. Villages near forest can start with honey collection etc. To improve health standards, we need health center, hospitals, and for that, doctor, nurses, workers. Similarly, to provide education to all children, we should need a lot of schools which can also generate employment. Tourism. Every state or region has the potential for increasing the income and employment for people in that area. This can also be done by promoting tourism or regional craft industry. New services like IT are also creating jobs. All these are the long-term projects, but government can also has certain short-term projects for people such as the Rega 2005. Describe the estimates of Planning Commission to create jobs in tourism and education. Regarding jobs in schools, Planning Commission, now known as Niti Aayog, estimates that nearly 20 lakh jobs can be created in the education sector alone. For more children to attend school, more teachers and more infrastructures will be required. Regarding jobs in tourism, Planning Commission estimates that nearly 35 lakh jobs can be created in tourism sector. Regional crafts and cottage industry can also create jobs. New services such as IT are also job generators. Okay, my dear students, now come to the next question. Explain the meaning of disguised unemployment with the help of any two suitable examples. Disguised unemployment is a situation where the number of workers engaged in a job is much more than required. If some of them are withdrawn from the job, the total production will not fall. It means that marginal productivity of such workers is zero. For example, where the need is for 4 laborers and 7 laborers are working, it means 3 laborers are suffering from disguised unemployment or underemployment. In such a case, the production will not be affected even if the 3 extra laborers do not work. Example, in rural India, agricultural field is suffering from this type of unemployment. All family members work on the agricultural field, but all the work can be done only by 1 or 2 persons alone. Rest are just engaged. Okay, my dear students. So, more than half of the workers in the country are working in primary sector, mainly in agricultural activities, producing only a quarter of GDP. In urban areas, workers like painters, plumbers, repair persons can. Car drivers do not find work every day for the whole day. Next question. Explain the measures that can be adopted to remove disguised unemployment in the agriculture sector. When more people are compelled to do a job which only few can do, then such a situation is termed as disguised unemployment. Loans should be provided to the small farmers by the government or banks to buy seeds or develop irrigation facilities to enable them to grow 2-3 crops in a year. Transportation and storage facilities should be improved to provide employment opportunities. New dams and canals should be constructed to generate employment. These are all relevant points. More irrigational facilities can be provided to grow 2 or 3 crops in a year. By establishing processing units of agriculture production, more employment opportunities can be created. Technical and vocational trainings can reduce the unemployment of farmers. Now, my dear students, come to the next question. Explain the ways by which more employment can be created in a country like India. Important question. Explain the ways by which more employment can be created in a country like India. The ways by which more employment can be created in a country like India are as follows. If more dams are built and canal water is provided to all the small farmers, a lot of employment can be generated in the agriculture sector. Providing cheap credit facilities and crop insurance can result in more employment. More money should be spent on transport and storage because then more people can be employed. The government banks can provide a loan at cheap rates to improve agricultural facilities. Technical training, vocational guidance to unemployed youth for self-employment. Next question. Come to the next question. How are the 3 sectors of the economy different from each other? Explain. Primary sector activities undertaken by using natural resources, example forestry, agriculture, fishing. Secondary sector activities include various manufacturing activities, industrial activities, and utility to primary sectors. Example, cotton to cloths, iron ore to steel. Tertiary sector includes all those activities which support primary and secondary sector by providing services, example, transportation, banking, trade, etc. Next question. Explain any five reasons for the growth of service sector in India. Explain any five reasons for the growth of service sector in India. Next question. Explain reasons for the rising importance of the service sector, tertiary sector in India. Now come to the correct answer. Tertiary sector in India has been growing rapidly for a number of reasons. Tertiary sector in India has been growing rapidly for a number of reasons. In a developing country, the government has to take responsibility for the provision of basic services, for example, hospitals, educational institutions, post and telegraph services, police stations, courts, village administrative offices, municipal corporation, defense, transport, banks, insurance companies, etc. The development of agriculture and industry led to the development of services such as trade, transport, storage, etc. Greater the development of primary and secondary sectors, more would be the demand for such services. As income level rise, certain sections of people start demanding many more services such as eating out, tourism, shopping malls, private hospitals, private schools, professional trainings, etc. This change is quite sharp in cities, especially in big cities. Over the past decade or so, certain new services such as those based on information and communication technology have become important and essential. Government policy of privatization has also led to the growth of this sector. A large number of workers are engaged in services such as small shopkeepers, repair persons, transporters, etc. However, the entire sector has not grown. Large number of people engaged as construction workers, maid, peons, small shopkeepers, etc., do not find any change in their life. Next question. Come to the next question. Describe the historical changes that have taken place in the sectors of the economy in the developed countries. In the initial stages of development, the primary sector was the most important sector of economic activity. As the methods of farming changed and agriculture sector began to prosper, people began to take up other activities. New methods of manufacturing were introduced, factories came up and start expanding. The secondary sector gradually became the most important sector in total production and employment. With the development of sectors like transport and administration, the service sector kept on growing. In the past 100 years, there has been a shift from the secondary to the tertiary sector in developed countries. The service sector has become the most important in terms of total production and employment. This is the general pattern observed in developed countries. Now, come to the next question. Explain the importance of the service sector. The main features of the service sector, tertiary sectors are: this sector helps in the development of the primary and secondary sectors. The activities related to this sector do not produce key goods, but they provide aid or support for the production process. It also provides essential services that may not directly help in production of goods, such as the services of teachers, doctors, barbers, lawyers, etc. In recent times, certain new services based on information technology, etc., have become more important. The services which are included in the tertiary sectors are transport, storage, communication, banking. Now, next question. Describe any five provisions of National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005. 100 days assured employment every year to each rural household. One third of proposed jobs to be reserved for women. If an applicant is not employed within 15 days, he or she is entitled to daily unemployment allowances. The government has to establish central employment guarantee funds and the state employment guarantee funds for the implementation of the scheme. The scheme is to be extended to 600 districts. Okay, my dear students. Now, last question. There has been a big change in the three sectors of economic activities, but a similar shift has not taken place in the share of employment. Explain the above statement on the basis of facts. Industrial output has increased by 8 times, but employment in the sector has increased only by 2 to 5 times. In the tertiary sector, the production of services rose by 11 times, but employment in the services rose only by 3 times. More than half of the workers in the country are working in the primary sector, producing only one quarter of the goods. Secondary and tertiary sectors produce 3/4 of the produce, whereas they only employ half of the country's workers. Primary sector has disguised unemployment, whereas workers in secondary and tertiary sectors work overtime. Okay, my dear students, मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में किसी नेक्स्ट चैप्टर के साथ. तब तक के लिए धन्यवाद. आपका दिन शुभ हो. गॉड ब्लेस यू. थैंक यू.